Hello, my dear friend. Today I'm excited to share a special story with you. It's a love story, and love stories always have a way of captivating our hearts. This one is about a boy named Alex and his unique connection with two girls, Emma and Lily. It's a simple story, so everyone can follow along, but it's filled with emotions, choices, and moments that can change someone's life forever. This isn't a complicated love triangle, but rather a story of learning how to navigate feelings, respect others, and understand yourself. Now, the story starts with Alex introducing himself, sharing his perspective on love and how he found himself in this unexpected situation. You'll see the conversations he has with both Emma and Lily, and how each relationship shapes him. It's a gentle, heartwarming tale, perfect for anyone who loves stories about emotions and personal growth. Story. Hi, my name is Alex. I never thought I would find myself in this situation, caught between two wonderful people who both mean so much to me. But here I am, trying to figure out how to handle everything without hurting anyone, including myself. Let me start from the beginning. I met Emma during our last year of school. She was that girl who had this quiet confidence, someone you wouldn't notice right away, but once you did, you couldn't stop thinking about her. We became good friends quickly, and before I knew it, I started feeling something more than friendship. Emma and I shared a lot in common, our love for books, quiet afternoons, and deep conversations about life. It felt natural, comfortable even, like we were meant to find each other. But then, there was Lily. I met her a year later at a mutual friend's party. She was the complete opposite of Emma. Bright, full of energy, and always the center of attention. There was something about her that drew me in, like her energy was contagious. With Lily, I felt alive in a way I hadn't before. We clicked almost instantly, and suddenly, I was spending more and more time with her. You see, I never planned for this to happen. I never wanted to be caught in this confusing situation. But as I got closer to Lily, I couldn't ignore the fact that I still had feelings for Emma. It wasn't just a passing crush. It was something real. So, here I was, feeling torn between these two incredible people and not sure what to do next. Emma, with her quiet strength, never pushed me to make a decision. She was patient, understanding, and never demanded more than what I was ready to give. We had this connection that was so deep, and I knew she cared about me. But Emma was also someone who valued space and didn't need constant attention, which sometimes made me question if I was enough for her. Lily, on the other hand, was all about the here and now. She loved big, laughed loud, and never hesitated to show how much she cared. Being with her felt like an adventure, like I was always discovering something new. But with Lily, there was always this fear that the excitement might fade, and I wasn't sure what would happen if it did. So, there I was, trying to balance these two parts of my life. I didn't want to hurt either of them, and most of all, I didn't want to make a mistake that I couldn't take back. It wasn't just about choosing between Emma and Lily. It was about figuring out who I was and what I truly wanted. Emma started noticing the time I was spending with Lily. One evening, we were sitting at our favorite cafe, the one with the worn-out couches and old records playing in the background, when she finally asked me, "Alex, are you okay? I feel like you're distant lately." I could hear the worry in her voice, and I hated that I was the cause of it. "I'm fine," I lied. "It's just been a lot to think about." Emma didn't push any further, but I could tell she knew something was off. That's the thing about her. She always knew when something was bothering me, even when I didn't say anything. Then there was Lily. I hadn't told her about Emma, and I felt guilty about it. Every time I saw Lily, the guilt gnawed at me. But she was always so happy to see me, pulling me into her world of fun and excitement, and for a while, I'd forget about everything else. One night, after a particularly fun evening out with Lily, I found myself lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. I couldn't keep doing this. I had to make a choice. I knew that staying in between these two amazing girls wasn't fair to any of us. The next morning, I called Emma. "Can we talk?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. "Of course," she said, her voice calm as always. We met at the cafe, and I told her everything, about Lily, about my feelings, about how confused I was. It was the hardest conversation I'd ever had. I expected her to be angry or hurt, but instead, she just sat there listening quietly. When I finished, she smiled sadly. "Alex, I appreciate your honesty," she said. "But you need to figure out what you want. Not for me, not for Lily, but for yourself. You deserve to be happy, and so do we." Her words hit me harder than I expected. Emma wasn't just thinking about herself, she was thinking about all of us. And I realized in that moment that she was right. I knew what I had to do. I met with Lily the next day. This conversation wasn't easy either, but it was necessary. I told her about Emma, about the feelings I still had for her, and how I couldn't keep living in this in-between space. To my surprise, Lily didn't get upset. Instead, she gave me a hug and said, "Alex, you need to follow your heart. We had something special, but if your heart is with Emma, then that's where you need to be." And just like that, the decision became clear. It wasn't about who was better or who made me feel more alive. It was about who I could see myself with, long-term, building something real and lasting. That person was Emma. I went back to her, ready to commit fully. And as we sat together, holding hands in the same cafe where we'd had so many conversations, I knew I had made the right choice. After that day with Emma, things started to feel different. Not just in our relationship, but inside me too. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I wasn't divided anymore. I had clarity. I had made my choice, and it was the right one. Emma was everything I needed, and now that I had decided to be with her fully, I was ready to put in the effort it took to make our relationship work. But of course, life isn't always that simple. Even though Emma had accepted my decision with grace, the reality of the situation still lingered. I could tell there were moments when she was hesitant, as if she didn't fully trust that I had truly moved on from Lily. And honestly, I couldn't blame her. Relationships, after all, are built on trust, and I knew I had tested hers. One evening, a few weeks after I had told Lily the truth, Emma and I were at her place watching a movie. I was distracted, though, thinking about how everything had played out. Out of nowhere, Emma paused the movie and turned to me. "Alex," she started, her voice soft but firm, "I trust you. I do. But sometimes I can't help but wonder, are you really over her?" Her words caught me off guard, but I knew she needed to hear my answer. "Emma," I said, looking into her eyes, "I made my choice because I know what I want. It's you. And I'm not going to let anything from the past come between us." She nodded, but I could tell it would take time for her to fully believe it. And that's okay. Trust isn't something you can rebuild overnight. I knew I had to show her through my actions that I was in this for the long haul. The next few months were a mix of happiness and small, quiet struggles. Emma and I fell into a comfortable routine: long walks in the park, lazy Sundays, and dinners at our favorite little Italian place. We spent more time together than ever, and for the most part, things were great. But every once in a while, the shadow of my past with Lily would pop up, usually in small, unexpected ways, like the time we ran into her at a mutual friend's gathering. I hadn't seen Lily since the day I told her about my decision. I knew it was bound to happen eventually, but I wasn't prepared for the awkwardness that came with it. She was polite, friendly even, but there was a distance between us now, one that wasn't there before. Emma noticed it too. After the party, as we were walking back home, she was quiet for a while. Finally, she said, "That was weird, wasn't it?" "Yeah, it was," I admitted. "Do you think it'll always be like that with her?" "I don't know," I replied honestly, "but I'm hoping with time, things will get easier." We didn't talk much more about it after that, but I could tell Emma was still processing everything. And I couldn't blame her. The truth is, relationships are rarely ever just about two people. There are always outside influences, past relationships, mutual friends, memories that linger, that can complicate things. But through it all, I was committed to making things work with Emma. I loved her. I knew that, without a doubt, and I was willing to face whatever challenges came our way, as long as we were in it together. One evening, as we sat on the porch of her apartment, watching the sunset, Emma turned to me with a small smile. "You know," she said, "I've been thinking a lot about us lately, about how far we've come, and how much more we still have to figure out." I smiled back at her. "Yeah, me too. But I think I'm ready to fully trust you again, Alex. I know you chose me, and I know that wasn't an easy choice. But I also know that you're here, with me,